How much can this government, in its position in terms of its non-majority in Parliament, actually do? What about things like social care? What about things like intergenerational inequities? What about the world of work, the gig economy, zero-hours contracts? All those things that the government has spoken about and Theresa May has spoken about, but does she have the ability and does her government have the ability to actually pass things that make a difference to what people earn? The other big trend will be to watch for this year will be what does inflation do, and most of the judgment is that inflation will come down this year, so that earnings squeeze will start to dissipate.
Yeah, but I think while the sort of macroeconomic things will obviously have a massive impact on people's lives, what they will notice, I think you're absolutely right, what they'll notice is when they go to the doctor, when they go to the hospital, when they're at the school gates, when they're trying to sort out social care for granny, when they're trying to find a home for their kids or for themselves. Frankly, there is so little capacity within the system at the moment for government to really come up with the radical solutions to those difficult problems. I think there will be real frustration in Britain that public services are not as good as people think they should be.
Is this the year, I want to ask you, where some of those trade-offs have to be resolved? Because it seems to me in the general election, what the Tories decided to do is say that the asset-rich elderly could lose a bit in order to help those people who were younger, and that was deeply unpopular. Now, arguably, when it comes this year to discussing future immigration policy, when it comes to discussing future trade policy, there'll be a whole series of trade-offs between different regions, different businesses and sectors, different generations.
Well, I think that the big issue for companies in 2018 will be staff. We've got the lowest unemployment rate we've ever had since 1975. It's surprising that wages haven't gone up a bit more, as Kamal was saying. That is expected to flip around. Wages should, if the Bank of England's right, start to go up a bit faster than the cost of living. But what businesses are worried about, they already find it very difficult to find staff. If we are in a situation where the mood music from the UK means fewer people are coming from Europe, from the EU, and I think that will be the biggest headache for business in 2018.
Well, I interviewed two people, Cindy and Sadie, up in Leeds last year, who were two people in work struggling to make ends meet, who had to go to other family members to borrow money at the end of the month to make their household budget balance. If at the end of this year they are still feeling the same, that is the fundamental issue, that is an economic issue about how this country is operating, and the government, any government, will be tested against that.
Now, being a warm and generous man and an honorary member of the trade union of on-air editors, I have not looked for what you said last year in order to embarrass what you got wrong. But why don't you try to give us a sense of what you are looking for as the possible surprises, what somebody once called the known unknowns? What about an election, Laura? Is that, or a change of leadership? Are they in your list?
I think last year I said I really don't think there will be a general election. I believe people in government when they swear to me that it's not going to happen.